Hey guys, I hope you guys are doing good today and welcome to today's video. So today we're going to talk about something on cache, how exactly this particular cache is dominating in infrastructure layer. So how it is dominating on the client layer, load balancer, CDN, CPU, RAM, disk, message broker, and database. So we will be checking out like how exactly this is dominating on each part of this the sections that we have talked about it. So without wasting time, just get into the video. The first one we are going to talk about is on client-side cache. Client-side cache is a type of cache that stores data in the user web browser or mobile device to speed up the subsequent request to the server. So the cache stores the resources such as HTML, CSS, JavaScript files, and images, and all those things. The cache reduces the number of requests made to the server as well, so which helps to reduce the page load time and improve the performance. For example, like client-side cache includes a browser cache, mobile device caches, and all those things. Okay. Adding to that, a user visits a website that has a large number of images. The first time user visit the website, the images are loaded from the server. If the user visit the site again and again, the images are loaded from the browser cache to reduce the load time and improve the user experience. So this is what happened whenever you open a page on Facebook or Google or whatever it may be. So the contents will get cached in your browser, so whenever you hit the page multiple time, it will serve from the browser cache. Load balancer cache. So load balancer cache is a type of cache that stores the frequently requested content or data on the load balancer to reduce the load on the backend server. So this is also pretty similar to the client cache one. So but that particular content or data, it will stored at the load balancer server or load balancer somewhere inside the server actually. So the cache can stores the session data. It's cool, right? Frequently accessed used database queries, frequently accessed contents, uh, all those things. Like if you're querying some data base, like select start from some username or something, so it is frequently accessed more than 10 times, so it will be saved in the load balancer cache. So cache helps to improve the performance of the load balancer and reduce the number of requests that pass to the backend servers. So each time what happened when the DNS, it will get resolved, it will go to the load balancer IP, and then load balancer will be routing the request to the backend nodes. So each time it doesn't happen. So if it is cache has been persisted that at the load balancer layer, so it will serve from the load balancer itself. So the example for this one, a website receives a large number of requests for a particular page. Okay, during the Big Billion Day, Black Friday sales, and all those things, the load balancer stores the page in the cache. It's cache. Okay, it reduces the load on the backend server and improve the response time for the subsequent request as well. Okay, now let's go on CDN cache. So this is something very different. This is totally dedicated for the for caching actually. So it's a content delivery network. We say CDN. It's a type of cache that stores the content on the server located around the world. So for example, we have one website which is in the US. Okay, or we have a website which is serving from the UK. Okay, but I am hitting from India or New Zealand or Australia. So what will happen, the request it will go to the US or UK. Okay, so it will take some time, it will create some latency. So to avoid that one, so they will keep certain cache server on the nearest region. Say for example, if I hit from Mumbai, so I have a cache near at the Hyderabad or Delhi. So if I hit from New Zealand, it will have some cache at the Australia somewhere actually. So like that only the CDN works actually. So CDN stores resources such as images, video, HTML file, static pages that we say. When user request content, the CDN server serves the content from the server located closest to the user. That is what we have told. So this reduces the latency and improve the performance of the website. Okay, let's put up some example here. So a website with user located around the world uses a CDN to store content. When user requests resources, the CDN serves the resources from the server located closest to the user. So reducing the latency and improves the user experience as well. CPU, RAM, disk cache. So this is very popular. If you are not a system administrator, could be a new for you. For sysadmin guys, they know RAM cache, memory cache, disk cache, and all those things. So let me reiterate it. CPU, RAM, disk cache, a type of cache that stores the data on the computer. Okay, it's on probably on the server. It can be Linux or Windows or Mac or whatever it may be. The CPU cache stores the data to the that is frequently accessed by the CPU, RAM, or CPU or RAM cache that stores the data and frequently accessed by the computer or server, and the disk cache that stores frequently accessed by the hard drive. Okay, so each time if we want to get some data from the data disk mounted on the Linux or Windows server, so it has a certain cache, it will serve from there. Okay, what's the pretty good example for this one? A computer runs an application that requires a frequently access the data stored on the hard drive. The data is stored in the disk cache, reducing the time required to access the data and improve the performance of an application. Okay, message broker, MQ broker cache. The MQ broker cache is a type of cache that stores the messages that are frequently accessed by the message broker. Okay, so the cache can store messages that are waiting to be processed or messages that have already been processed. The cache helps to improve the performance of the message broker by reducing the time required to access frequently accessed messages. Example for this one, the message broker process a large amount of messages. The frequent access messages are stored in the message broker cache, reducing the time required to access the messages and improve the performance of the message broker. Okay, I think we have come up to the last section of the video. This is database cache. Database cache is a type of cache. What it does is like it stores the frequently accessed SQL query data in the memory of the database server. Okay, the cache stores the data in such as index, query results, frequently accessed tables, and all those things. The cache helps to improve the performance of the database by reducing the time required to access the frequently accessed data. Okay, so what's a good example for this one? A website uses a database to store user information. The frequently accessed user information is stored in the database cache, reducing the time required to access the information, improving the performance of the website and the database as well. So that's all I have, guys. I hope you might have enjoyed this particular video. We'll see you on the another good lecture. And before signing off, please do subscribe and hit a like button. Thank you so much.